Full-time Manchester City 4, Tottenham Hotspur 2, and one absolutely crazy, bizarre game of football. We can talk about football cliches, but that really was a game of two halves. Man City, dreadful in that first half. Tottenham, not so great either. Not really, but they went in somehow 2-0 up at half-time. It was just absolutely mental. So many things to analyse and discuss and react to. But before we do, please do smash the like button and do subscribe if you are new to the channel. But I'm going to start off and talk about Tottenham. Tottenham today, it's just, again, lacklustre, lazy performance. Heung-min Son, where is he? He's just gone missing for so long. He has a poor performance, and Lloris again at fault massively. But we're going to talk about that first half then. City, lacklustre, lazy. It was really easy to defend against. It was sideways. No one trying to break the lines. We talk about City before, creating space, creating overloads. There was absolutely none of that in that first half. And Tottenham defended well, didn't really concede many chances. In that first half, I can get the possession stats up. Man City, 61% possession with only 2 shots on target. Didn't really hurt whatsoever. Rico Lewis had a pot shot from distance that took a deflection. But other than that, no real chances. And then slowly, you could see the confidence building with Tottenham because they had the time, they had the space, and Man City weren't even pressing either. There was no energy. As I said, it was methodical, it was lazy, it was a really slow performance in that first half. And you saw Tottenham starting to build up confidence, and they had absolutely none of that against Arsenal in the North London derby. They had no space, no time, and every time they tried to pass out from the back, they pressed and they were hunted down. Whereas in this game, they weren't. So they built up confidence and they nicked 2 goals. Yes, they were very fluky. Lucky, came out of nowhere. It was bizarre. It really shocked me because it just, I don't understand how it happened. Even watching them back, it was real. And we talk about laziness and naivety and arrogance with the play of City in that first half. That second goal, when they're passing out from the back, and Edison, poor pass in the first place. Rodri, not aware of his space, which he's very good at. He's usually very aware where he is on the pitch. Took the ball, not on his toes, on the half turn. Ball nicked off him, and then goal. It was just bizarre, wasn't it? A really weird performance in that first half. And then they got booed off, which we've never seen. I can't think of a time under Pep Guardiola where they've been booed off at half-time. And I don't know what happened at half-time. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall in that team talk because they came out absolutely flying. And when I talk about flying, we're saying now, has anyone ever seen where a side has conceded 2 really late goals in that first half and then literally 12 minutes, they're back in the lead? Back in the lead. They're in the lead. 3 goals. Absolutely huge. And there is one man who single-handedly got those 3 goals, Hugo Lloris, because he's an absolute fraud. I say it every single week. He's allergic to his front post. He's allergic. He cannot get anywhere near it. Someone explain to me how he's conceded those goals. All of the goals, that one goal against Mahrez, near post, should have saved it. The Alvarez goal, he comes out and flaps at it, and Grealish gets the ball first, and then Alvarez slots it away. He's at fault for everything. It's embarrassing. He's not confident, and that is a massive thing in these kind of games when City had to. The pressure was on City to come out in that second half, and Lloris from the get-go just looked dread. There was no confidence, and if you instill that into a side, it then gives confidence to Man City that they can get the game back. I'll tell you now, if Ramsdale from North London derby, because he was absolutely great, if Ramsdale was in goal for Spurs tonight and he had the confidence, was commanding, collected a couple of crosses at the start of that second half, they would not have conceded. They honestly wouldn't have. And then 15 minutes would have gone by. The pressure would have started building on City because it was a hostile, it was a toxic environment. And City would have really struggled. But no, Lloris, being Lloris, had to allow the City to have a couple of goals maybe. It was just, I don't get it. Tottenham need a new goalkeeper, whether you play Fraser Forster, I don't care. They need to change something because they can't keep leaking goals like this. And every week, every single time, they're pointing the finger, and the finger is always on him. Every single time. And don't get me wrong, City came out in that second half, as I said, and they were absolutely class. But I do think Lloris had a massive part to play in it. Absolutely dreadful. But then I want to talk about that second half, because in the first half, I couldn't really work out what was going on with the front 4, really. Mahrez, Alvarez, Haaland and Grealish, couldn't really work out what was going on. 1 minute, Haaland was coming in deep with Alvarez. The 2 of them were coming in deep, and then no one was occupying the centre-backs. Grealish constantly cutting inside. Mahrez cutting inside. You get that when you're strong-footed, and so you have to come. So Mahrez being left-footed playing on the right, and Grealish being right-footed playing on the left. It just wasn't working. Everything was just coming into the middle, and they were all just in a line that's points, and it just wasn't really working. Whereas the second half, it was fluid. There was energy to it, and that's the thing with Haaland. And I've noticed recently, and especially in the Man United game, in the Southampton game recently, performances, it's been slow. no one's really tried to break the lines and create space like they used to when they had a false nine, whereas they did that in the second half. Grealish driving at players. Mahrez, don't get me wrong, was by far the best player on the pitch tonight. I haven't really touched on him yet, but you could tell he had that confidence. He was driving at players, he was cutting inside, going down the byline. It wasn't easy to work out what was going on. That was the thing. It was direct. And you talk about it and you think about it before the game, Perisic and Mahrez, an interesting matchup, and Grealish and Romero. Sorry, Grealish and Royale, and you think, it's perfect. It's a winger's dream to get at those kind of players. Because don't get me wrong, Perisic is a great player, but he's getting on now. So you want to keep hitting him with energy and pace. And they did that in the second half. They took the game to Tottenham and some really, really, really good play. A really good performance. And that second half, just wow. It just shows you that they can still do it. And everyone keeps talking about how City are underperforming. They're 5 points off Arsenal. And I know Arsenal got a game in hand, but now the pressure's back onto Arsenal. And this is a kind of statement game. These are the kind of moments that you look at. And I can see us looking back at the end of the season now. That 4-2 game where Man City, they flicked that switch. They came alive. They took the game to Arsenal. They put the pressure back on because it was a really interesting game. Because that when they were 2-0 down at half-time, the fans are booing. You think about it, City have never been in this position. They've never been in a situation like this. There are players there that probably have probably maybe lost 5 or 6 games in the Man City shirt in their career and had the pressure of being booed at half time. I can't get my head around that. And it just shows you the pressure that the fans, the players, the manager, everything. And it looked like it was going to be one of those performances where Pep overthought it. And he didn't. A brilliant performance. And I want to discuss like kind of the individual players now from both sides and kind of doing a bit of analysis. Edison, for me, I thought had a stinker today. Nathan Ake, I thought was absolutely class today. One of the better players in that Man City side. One of the players that didn't really get the praise I think he deserves. I think he was really good today. Akanji and Stone, solid. Rico Lewis had a good game. Don't get me wrong, I thought he was pretty good. Gundogan, I didn't think it was great. Didn't really get on the ball. Rodri, bar the goal, had a really good performance. So that individual error let him down. Mahrez, unreal, 10 out of 10 performance, absolutely great. Probably should have got himself a hat-trick, shouldn't have put Alvarez through at the end. Alvarez, good performance. I really liked him in that second half, and I think we'll see a lot more of him in this second half of the season. Grealish, I thought I had an okay game, could have really done a lot more in my opinion. I feel like he let himself down a bit. And Erling Haaland, he bagged, so you can't really fault him, but didn't do too much. I thought he maybe would operate Ben Davies and Dyer a little bit more. And then we go through the Spurs team. Lloris, stinker of performance. Romero, stinker. Dyer, I thought was okay. Ben Davies, stinker. Perisic, stinker, because he messed up for that one goal at the end. Benton Kerr was one of the better players, I thought, in the performance today. I thought he really stood out. Højbjerg, chasing shadows. Emerson Royale, I thought had a really good game. Kept Grealish quiet, to be honest, in my opinion. Kulusevski, great performance. And Son, has anyone seen him? Did absolutely nothing, in my opinion. Yet again, a stinker of a performance. And then Harry Kane, I thought, okay, he didn't have much to play with. He kept coming deep. And then when you do that against the City side, then there's no one up top. And that's where I thought it let him down. But overall, a brilliant performance from Man City. Could this be the turning point? The pressure is now back onto Arsenal. But as I said, if you haven't already, please do smash the like button and do subscribe. Mahrez, wow. City, the comeback king. What an absolute brilliant performance. But thank you for watching. Smash the like button and do subscribe. A bucket of Sam over and out. Thank you. Goodbye.